Hello, I'm Sue Heinz and welcome to my studio. I'm going to show you a knot tying and bearing technique I learned from Sharon Schamber years ago. It's fast, fun, and gives you show quality stops and starts. I'm going to demo first using this black pearl cotton, and then I'll repeat this technique on the sew out. For tying off two long threads, start with your left hand turned outward like this. Twist your hand towards your body. You know you're correct when the tail is on the underside of the loop. Grasp the tail between your two fingers and pivot your hand upwards. Take your needle, put it inside the loop and the point where you want the knot to be, and simply pull up on the tail and your knot will be anchored very close to the fabric. Let's do that one more time. I'm going to twist my hand to the outside of my body, rotate it like so. I know I'm correct when the tail is on the underside of the loop, and then grab the tail between my two fingers. Pivot my hand upward, take my needle and put it inside of that loop, and I'm kind of pulling it off of my fingers at this point. Anchor my needle and the knot will slide down the shaft. Let's try that technique one more time. I'm going to turn my finger to the outside, twist, hold on to the tail, take my needle, put it inside the loop, pull up on that tail, and my knot is anchored right at the fabric. Thread my needle, go on into the batting, cut and done. Did you notice the needle I was using? This is a spiral eye needle, and it has saved me countless hours. It eliminates 3 steps: the pulling, the cutting, the licking, and the threading. And it looks like this on a close-up. It's a side threading needle, so unlike those handicap needles that actually do make you handicapped and have the notch up here, this is a side threading, which means that when you're putting pressure on the needle, your thread is not going to come out. Side threading is easy. All you have to do is loop your thread over the top of your needle, and you're going to slide it upwards until you feel that notch. It goes right on in and you are threaded. The next thing I want to show you is how to tie off and bury a knot when you have this situation. Let's just say your bobbin thread ran out, or you needed to rip back and you only have this much thread to work with. This would be pretty hard to tie off. But with the help of a surgical tweezer like this one, I'm able to tie off and bury my thread when I only have an inch to work with. What I'm going to do though is pull this back to full length so you can see what I'm going to be doing here with my tweezer, and then we'll do it over here to show you how quick and easy it is. By the way, this tweezer, if you own a serger, you probably have a tweezer with a foot of about a 1/4 inch long. This foot is a 1/2 inch long, and I feel that this is so much better for this technique than the 1/4 inch. It just gives you a little bit more foot to play with. You can start on either side of the thread. It makes no difference. If it helps, think of this as a clock. So this would be noon, this would be 6. I'm going to start on this side of my thread, and I'm going to loop this at 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock, if that helps. It's only just a 1/2 loop around. Don't snug it up real tight or you have no room to maneuver here. So give yourself some room. And here's the magic move. when I go around 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock, or that half of a loop, I'm going to shimmy underneath both of those threads. Open up my tweezer, just like I kept it with my fingers here. My tweezers are now my fingers, and I'm going to pull this through, and you can see the knot starting to form. Let's do that one more time. I'm going to start here, loop it around a half a loop, and shimmy underneath that thread to the other side. Open up my tail, grab it with my tweezer, pull it through, and as you can see, it's knotted. You continue to pull it all the way through, the tail all the way through. Let's do it on the other side. Start on this side, loop half a loop, shimmy to the other side, open her up, and pull it through. So this is convenient for both left-handers and right-handers. Makes no difference which side you start on. Let's try it over here. I'm going to start with a short thread. This technique works when you have a thread about an inch or longer. I'm going to grab hold of my threads, start on one side, shimmy underneath, open it up, and pull it through. And as you can see, I am knotted to this longer thread. Pretty slick. Now, as you notice that the knot is up a bit on the shaft, that makes no difference. You're firmly knotted to the other thread, and so the only thing you have to think about is when you're going into the batting, that whatever height this knot is on this thread, you want to go a little bit further in the batting, just so that the knot buries. Pull her on through, and no more ripping. Thank you. I hope you've enjoyed this small tutorial. Happy sewing!